Hey friends! So today I thought I'd share with you a super simple everyday kind of makeup look that I have been doing a lot lately. And so let's get started. So first I'm going to apply some sunscreen. I'm using the La Roche Posay mineral sunscreen. It's what I've been using a lot this year because I used to use the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer, but my skin started reacting to it, so I thought I'd try a mineral sunscreen, and it's been working very well for me. I'm just gonna put some on my whole face. I got the tinted version, but I don't find that it's very pigmented or that the pigment does anything, so I mean, I wouldn't recommend it over the regular. If you're trying to decide between the two, the color really doesn't do anything. And normally I wouldn't put on a primer, but today I kind of feel like using the Becca Backlight priming filter. Just cause I don't really use it for the priming properties. I use it more just to have a really glowy base when I feel like having one. Okay. I usually just put it on the outer perimeter of my face because I tend to have an oily T-zone, so I find that works really well for me. And I rub it and then sort of press it into my skin. Yeah, and it just gives you a little extra glow. And then I always put on a little bit of concealer, just to brighten and highlight my face a little bit. This is my favorite. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer, I think. Yeah, Neutralizer. It's a little light for me right now because I have a bit of a tan, but we're gonna fix that later. And I just kind of put it around the center of my face, under my nose, around my mouth, on my chin, under my eyes. And you can use your fingers to blend it in, but I always use a brush. I'm using the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush, and I just kind of like stamp it into my skin and blend everything out. Usually for every day I don't wear foundation. I haven't really worn foundation a lot this whole year because I've been investing a lot in my skincare, which I obviously highly recommend, because if you have problematic skin or your skin is not well hydrated or too hydrated or whatever, it's hard for makeup to hide textural problems, so it's always a good idea to try and make sure your skin is in a good place before piling on tons of makeup. So now that that's blended in, normally that's all the concealing I would do, but I have a couple of little friends today, so I'm going to use another concealer that's closer to my skin tone. I'm using the Vasanti, what's this called? Wonders of the World Concealer Duo in Y2. And I just kind of mix both of the colors together just with my finger, like so. And then I'm just gonna dab it over these little pimples I have. Okay, that's good enough. Because I don't think the point of makeup should be just to hide your skin, but just to make it look just slightly better than it normally does. Okay. Oh, go add a bit more. There. That's good. So after concealer, I like to apply some powder. If you have drier skin, you could probably skip this step, but like I said, I have an oily T-zone right down the center here, so I always make sure I powder it, especially the parts where I put concealer. So I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Blotting Powder in Light, and I think I'm going to apply it with a brush. I'm going to use the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 brush, and I just get a bit of powder and then press it into my skin like that. just in the parts where I tend to get pretty oily or where I've applied concealer, so it doesn't move around throughout the day or melt off. And that's good. Next, I like to apply a little bit of bronzer. I'm using the Tarte Park Ave Princess in their little deluxe sample size that I got a while ago. And I'm going to apply it with the e.l.f. complexion brush. So I just kind of like tap my brush in there. I like to apply it pretty loosely around the face because I think that's how it looks the best. It ends up looking more natural, I find, than if you try to just very precisely apply it in a small part of your face. So I just kind of brush it all over my cheeks and around the side of my face. And I always do my temples because my forehead tends to get quite tanned, but not the sides, so it just kind of evens it out. And I always do some on my nose just like that, so it looks more natural, like I actually have a tan. And then I always try to add a little bit of extra glow because that's the kind of look that I've been really into this past year. I'm going to use the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury in shade 2. So I just use the one that it comes with, and I just kind of place it on the parts of my face where I want a little extra glow. And that's going to be my cheekbones, brow bone, above the brow, on the bridge of my nose a little bit, tip of the nose, and the Cupid's bow. And then with this, I just use my fingers to kind of blend it out. For my cheekbones, I like to tap it in because I find that sometimes if you rub it a little too much, it kind of dulls down the glow. So I like kind of tapping it in like that. I always do this after the powder. Even though conventional wisdom says that you're supposed to apply all of your cream and liquid products before powder, I just find that it really dulls down the shine of this, so I always apply the powder first. And I find that it works. There, that's that little extra all over glow that I like. And then I always like to apply a little bit of blush, so I'm going to use the Stila, what's this called? Aqua Glow Watercolor Blush in Water Poppy. I just kind of shake it first, and then I use whatever's on the cap with a little brush. I'm going to use the e.l.f. small stipple brush. I used to try and apply this with my fingers, but I found that it kind of ended up a little blotchy, so I like using this better. I find that it works really well with this type of a product, and I use just a tiny bit like that because it's very, very pigmented. You can always add more later if you want, and I just kind of stipple it into my cheeks like that. Just a tiny bit. I like applying this after my highlighter because sometimes I find that when I apply highlighter, it kind of rubs a bit of the blush away, no matter what kind of blush that I use. Maybe I'm too aggressive with my highlighter. Okay, and just make sure it's well blended. There, that's good. Now for brows, I usually use a pencil, but I got this just to test, and I mean I have it on hand, so I'm just gonna use it. It's the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel in whatever the darkest color is. It doesn't say on this tube. Oh no, it says deep brown. So I'm gonna use this with a small angled brush. This is the Sigma Small Angle E65. I really don't know why they made the applicator like this because I find it pretty useless. It's really hard to get a precise, nice brow with it, which is why I'm going to use the brush instead. It's a little annoying you have to add this extra step, but I don't really have any pencils right now, so I'm just gonna use this. And the finished brow looks good, so I mean the product is fine. It's just a little annoying you have to do this extra step. So I'm just kind of filling in the sparse areas and making sure it's a little lighter in the beginning here. If you have a clean sort of spoolie, it comes with one, this tiny little spoolie. It's a good idea to brush through to make sure everything's even and dispersed nicely. Just makes it look a little more natural. Just gotta fill in this little gap in here. Okay, so my brows are filled in, and then I like to finish with a brow gel, and I'm using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Boost and Set Volumizing Brow Mascara in Dark Brunette. It's just whatever I have on hand right now. I rotate between different ones depending on whatever's on sale. And I just like setting my brows because I find it really makes a big difference. It emphasizes the actual individual hairs on your brows, so it makes it look a lot more natural, I think. Oops. Okay. Now for eyes, for an everyday kind of makeup look, I don't tend to do much. So first I'm just gonna curl my eyelashes. I'm kind of on the tail end of some extensions right now. I would say they're half full, so ignore that. This is what I would do if I didn't have extensions right now. Just gonna curl them really well. Whoops, just lost a couple. That's okay. I like to curl my eyelashes before I start my eye makeup because I find that curling them after sometimes it smudges the eyeliner or it smudges the eyeshadow. So I just like to do it before I start my eye makeup. And I'm gonna just do a simple eyeliner today. I'm using this random dual-ended dark brown liner that I found at Miniso. It does not have a brand. It's just called the Smooth Eyeliner Plus Eyebrow Pencil. And I'm gonna use the liquid liner part to do a nice cat eye. Now this is something that I've only discovered this year for some reason. It's this new technique for very hooded eyes. So I'm just gonna kind of line the lash line underneath the lashes. I think it's called the waterline, maybe. I'm gonna line all the way along the lash line, just lightly pressing. It kind of fills in all of the eyelash gaps, so it looks like you have a fuller lash line. I like this because my eyes are very, very hooded. So sometimes when I do eyeliner or cat eye or something, it really makes my lashes disappear because I don't have a lot of lid space. And this is what I found finally after 10 years of doing a cat eye. I finally figured out this is the best way to do it for my eye shape. So once you've lined the waterline, you kind of make your wing wherever you want. I try not to make it too thick because this is an everyday kind of look. So I just kind of eyeball it where I want, and then you connect it on top of your eyelid and color it in, I guess. And then you kind of just go very, very thinly on top of your lashes, only halfway. So you kind of blend it in like that. with your the eyeliner you placed underneath your lashes. I'm just gonna fix this end part, make it a little skinnier. There, perfect. So this is kind of how I've been doing my cat eyeliner, and you can see it leaves a lot more space on my mobile lid, a lot more than if I had gone just on top of my eyelashes. And that's how I figured out I should be doing my eyeliner. So that's the eyeliner done on both sides. It's as even as it's gonna get. That's okay. And you're not supposed to do this when you have eyelash extensions, but I'm gonna put on a little bit of mascara because that's what I would normally do. Except that normally I would use waterproof mascara because my natural lashes don't really hold a curl unless I use waterproof mascara. But I'm gonna use the Tarte, I think it's called Lights Camera Lashes. The writing's rubbed off, so I don't know. It's just a little deluxe sample size that I got a while ago. So I'm gonna just put on some mascara. And normally I don't put mascara on my lower lashes because even with waterproof mascara it tends to smudge on me because I have an oilier skin type. So usually I just do the top and leave it at that. And finally, for an everyday look, I just put on a lip oil or something like that, a really simple lip color. I'm gonna use the Sephora Oil Infusion lip oil in the color Cherry. Let's put a little bit of that on. I like lip oils because it's very moisturizing, and I really, really like the kind of shiny, wet lip look. I love that look. I wear a lot of lip oils. And that's basically it. So this is the makeup look that I tend to do when I just want a really simple makeup look. And I know I still used a bunch of products, but obviously you don't have to. You can use as many or as few products as you want. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you want more tutorials from me, and have a great day.